And now we're going to add some practical knowledge to this experience by bringing forth our next keynote speaker, who's going to share with you the experience of GIIS virtual schools. We have with us Mr. Atul Temurnikar, who's the co-founder and chairman of GIS. The institution, though, is based out of Singapore, but I must tell you that they have the campuses in 7 countries, and he's going to talk about how they rode over the tide of COVID-19 successfully with the help of virtual classrooms. Very warm welcome, Mr. Atul.
Hi, good afternoon to all of you, and it's a pleasure to see everyone. Thank you for having me at the IOD webinar. I think today we are looking at welcoming innovations by people, all happening due to COVID. But if people and customers are changing this rapidly, then boards too ought to change quickly and relook at embracing technology, not just for sustainability, but in some cases for survival as well. Over the last 2 decades, the Global Schools Foundation has been preparing future-ready and responsible global citizens. Technology has played a huge role in our sustainability and in our growth plans. We have 3 broad verticals. First being the international schools vertical, and then the culture and sports arm, and the last one being the free community schools that we run in India. By 2008, we had embarked on a journey of business excellence thanks to our patron, Mr. Narayana Murthy, and I'm proud to say that today, after 10 years, GSF have set a world record and are now winners of over 150 Education Excellence Awards around the world. Probably it's much higher than the second highest, which has won these awards. But by 2014, we started conceptualizing the idea of school of the future, and we started implementing it. For some of you who are not from education, these are terms that may sound very unfamiliar, but essentially they all link back to technology. In 2018, our first smart campus, which originated from the School of the Future, commenced operations in Singapore with a full emphasis on next-gen learning. By 2020, we are here today with the virtual schools, ready to take on the latest challenge. Today, GSF schools have students from 7 countries, 70 nationalities, offering linguistic diversity and cultural exposure, giving our students a truly global experience. This is offered through the 21 campuses we have spread across ASEAN, South Asia, Middle East, and India, and provide world-class education to over 15,000 students. Soon, we went about replicating the idea of Smart Campus in other parts of the world, from Tokyo to Dubai to Bangalore and many other locations, building some brilliant campuses. A question that often gets asked is, why do the top 20 ranked universities enroll GSF students, or why are they in demand? What's so special about these students or the school that you get almost 3 times the number of university offers compared to the number of students? It's not a big secret, and I will share some key reasons for this. For these universities, the GSF schools are a place to find the perfect blend of academic results, well-suited skills, and structurally developed holistic persons. Each year, over 150 plus universities, including some Ivy League universities, visit the schools in person or in virtual. And sometimes we get almost 3 times the number of university offers, but almost all students get guaranteed placements, and some even get scholarships. Some are lucky to get government scholarships too. In fact, over 45% of our students each year are placed at the Singapore universities alone, and in Asia and in Australia. And it gives me immense pleasure to share something which is very recent as 2 days. And it's linked to one of our GIS alumni who is linked to the SpaceX program. Yes, the famous Elon Musk's SpaceX launch that launched the 2 American astronauts to the ISS station and rolled out a historic space program. GIS Singapore student of IB class 2014, Ms. Kanika, was a proud team member of the SpaceX team and had served there on the Falcon 9 landing legs. She has not only made our GIS proud, but also has made Singapore proud and India proud too, being an Indian. Year upon year, our students give us exemplary results in their board exams. Given the fact that we are not a selective school, which means we don't take only the meritorious students, we take these students and transform them into extraordinary performers. In the IB diploma exams, 39 of our students have ranked as world toppers, scoring 45 out of 45 and near perfect scores of 44. This is not alone. In the International Cambridge exams, or IGCSE, 78 of our students have scored A stars in all subjects. In CBSE, things were not lagging behind. We had one of our students who was CBSE topper in the entire Southeast Asia and the Middle East. Every teacher in our school is empowered with a very powerful in-house developed technological and analytical tool called the 7S. This provides a comprehensive analysis about the students' academic strengths and plan ways to improve and enhance the performance based on this data. These student improvement plans, or we call them SIP, are strategies which are evidence-based, carefully crafted, and meant for improvement programs. Similarly, in the sports, we use data analytical tools called SPEDAs as sports performance enhancement data analytics systems. This is part of our efforts to uplift our school sports to the national level. These are very high-end systems that are generally used by the likes of NBA in basketball or the FIFA teams in soccer. SPEDAs is, of course, currently available at our smart campuses in Singapore and India and are being rolled out gradually to other countries as well. Every year, we run the Entrepreneurship and Innovation Bootcamp and are joined by senior faculty from the INSEAD Business School in Singapore. This is to boost the creativity and problem-solving capabilities and skills for each child. We were always a technologically advanced school. After what we have seen due to the COVID, it is interesting to see how our early adoption of some of the School of the Future concepts are now making an absolute sense. Our introduction of blended learning combines the learning from digital classrooms with learning from virtual classrooms and learning from nature-based classrooms and even open classrooms. I think today students have multiple options to choose from, and with this unique COVID experience, students are going to see a bigger proportion of blended classrooms or blended learning taking in their lives. The digital classrooms were a major part of our school and School of the Future initiative. They were like the heart or the central nervous system and widely researched, prototyped, and benchmarked to be the best among the schools in the world. The GSF digital classrooms had everything from video conferencing. So in fact, we started using Zoom very early. We have been using WebEx as well. And other than that, screen sharing, location sensing for various analytics, touchscreen displays, facial recognition for attendance, RFID digital lockers, high-speed broadband, Wi-Fi, CCTV, etc. Now, one would say that these classrooms, which were Zoom webinar ready, allowing students to join classes from the comfort of the homes and engage in student programs with other GIS campuses as well in a global space. Each classroom has one or two multimedia touchscreens, which make the multimedia lessons much more engaging. Location sensing is used to create data mining for student movements and staff movements within the campus and generate further heat maps for better facility optimization. Digital student lockers, which are using RFID, are made available to every student for storage of books and sports equipments. Facial recognition is provided to each and every classroom or on a respective floors for student attendance. CCTV, as commonly used, is used for safety, but we decided to provide them in each of the classrooms, and not just there, but in also all the corridors and staircases. Of course, we had ensured our network infrastructure was matching the highest performance that we wanted of 40 GB. So we chose to work with Cisco for the switches, and back in 2015, I got to have a chance to have a side chat with Mr. John Chambers of Cisco and got a chance to share our vision of the school of the future. With COVID-19, learning from home, just as we have the working from home, learning from home is getting popular as well, has become synonymous with all the children and is being used every day extensively by our 15,000 students. LFH is used heavily not just for regular classrooms, but also for enrichment, remedial, and for co-curricular activities and cultural center activities. I must point here that when Japan was the first country to enforce the lockdown, our schools in Japan were able to restart classes just in a matter of 5 days, as they were all completely virtual classrooms ready. So what we do in addition to this is we have skill studios that complement our digital classrooms, and the skill studios complement the virtual classrooms, the open classrooms, and the nature-based classrooms as well. So what do we do here? Through these 42 skill studios, we offer skills-based learning, or one can say vocational learning, to develop multiple dimensions in their talents, and which allows our students to go beyond the academic and sports excellence. In our smart campuses, we have a choice of skills-based studios like digital design, maker studio, robotic and innovation studios, ceramic studio, radio and television studio, culinary studio, music and dance studio, language studios, and many others, where we have successfully implemented various skills-based learning modules. The safety of our students is very important to us, as is to everyone, especially in the post-COVID era. We already had a number of elements in place to ensure that our students are safe in the premises. Besides traditional security, we had installed over 700 CCTV cameras at one of our campuses to provide that extra layer of safety. Then there are the non-touch facial recognition readers outside every classroom, which provide contactless attendance as compared to the biometrics which were used in the past, as this is considered to be more safe. So going forward in the COVID era, we will have face masks, face shields, desk shields in every classroom to ensure that minimum physical contact is initiated. As you know, that some of these countries in Asia, like Singapore, Malaysia, have already begun to start undoing the lockdowns, and in a very restrictive way are beginning to open the schools within these countries. We will also be doing contact tracing for all the schools. So COVID basically has taken us and put us on the back foot. Economies are affected, and education sector has been impacted too, as we heard from the various speakers before us. For GSF schools, now that's a system in place, and education continues unhindered. It is time to think about what will be the post-COVID reality especially for the education industry. With 5G, a large part of school education will move to the mobile, as we heard earlier, but 5G is still way ahead in many countries. Teachers' jobs would expand in breadth and depth to be the influencers and guides to direct the students, to stimulate them and encourage them to become global citizens. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Atul TEMURNIKAR. Thank you so much for sharing all the insights and your experience of how you rode over this tide with the help of virtual classrooms. And I'm sure there's a lot to learn from you, because these models, not only in the education sector, but at large in the business sector, there's something for us to learn from, no matter which sector we belong to.